Hello folks, this is Zach Carr with Zhar Reads, and today we are going to be finishing off Curious George Learns the Alphabet by H.A. Ray. This is going to be part 2, so here we go. The big N is a napkin standing on a dinner plate. It looks neat. George had seen napkins folded that way in the restaurant when he was a dishwasher. The small N is a nose in the face of a man. He has a new blue necktie on and is nibbling noodles. The big O is a big ostrich, and the small O is a small ostrich, of course. Ostriches can eat odd objects. One ostrich once had tried to eat a bugle that belonged to George. The big P is a big penguin, and the small p is a small penguin. These penguins live near the South Pole. They use their flappers as paddles. George knew penguins from the zoo. The big Q is a quail. Quails have short tails. You must keep quiet if you want to watch quails. They are quite shy. The small q is a quarterback. A quarterback has to be quick. George was quick. He would qualify for quarterback. And now get your football, George, said the man. It will do you good to play a little before we go on with your letters. George knew how to play the game. He knew how to carry the ball, and how to take a three-point stance, and how to get ready for the kickoff. He was a fine halfback too, and he could make a short pass or recover a fumble. Good game, said the man, but time's up now. Back to the alphabet. The big R is a rabbit. Some rabbits are white with red eyes. Rabbits love radishes. George loved rabbits. He had one as a pet. The small r is a rooster. The rooster crows when the sun rises. Two roosters will start a rumpus. They really can get rough. The big S is a big snail, and the small s is a small snail. Snails are slow. They sneak into their shells when they are scared of something. George thought snails looked silly. The big T is a table. The table is set for two. It is time for tea. George did not care for tea, but he liked toast. The small t is a tomahawk. George had a toy tomahawk. It was a tiny one. He took it along when he played Indian. He also had a teepee, an Indian tent. Now it's time for a snack, said the man. Run over to the baker, George, and hand him this note. Then come right back with the donuts, 1 dozen of them. And no tricks, please. George was curious. He looked at the note the man had written. 1 dozen donuts. Maybe he could write something on it too? How about writing 10 instead of 1? He had just learned the T. First a T, then an E, then an N. Said the baker. 10 dozen donuts is quite a lot, but that's what the note says. We need an extra big bag for them. Why, George, cried the man. Then he saw the note. Well, that comes from teaching the alphabet to a little monkey. And I told you, no tricks. You may not eat any donuts now, George. Put them back in the bag and let's go on with the letters. The big U is a big umbrella, standing upright. George knew how to use an umbrella. The small U is a small umbrella. When it is raining, umbrellas are useful, but you must keep under the umbrella, unless you want to get wet. George thought rain was a nuisance. The big V is a big Valentine, and the small V is a small Valentine. George loved Valentines. He got several Valentine cards every year. 1 card came from Nevada. The big W and the small w are whiskers, big ones and small ones. A walrus has whiskers. Some men have whiskers, and cats have whiskers. George did not have whiskers, but he was curious how he would look if he did. The next letter of the alphabet is X. The big X and the small x look alike. Only one is big and one is small, just like the big W and the small w, or the V, or the U, or the S, and some of the other letters. But, said the man, there are few words that start with an X, and they don't look like an X, except one, and that is Xmas. Santa stands for Xmas. There's only one Santa, so we need only one picture. George thought Xmas was exciting. The big Y is a big yak. The small y is a small yak. He is still young. Yaks live in Tibet. If you haven't seen any yaks yet, you may find one at the zoo. The big Z is a big zebra, and the small z is a small zebra. The zebras are zipping along with zest. And do you know what? Said the man. Z is the last letter. Now you know all the 26 letters of the alphabet. And now you may have the donuts. The end. Well, that's all for Curious George Learns the Alphabet. I really hope you guys enjoyed the book, and I'll see you next time.